Hey gamers, I got a big one for you today. Mosaic, the Colossus edition with the expansion, Wars and Disasters. Let's check it out. All right, a little bit of setup on this one here. First off, you're going to take all of the tiles that say trade goods on them, place them out in all of the hexagons all over the square here, and then you're going to be flipping them over. Any of these that have the X on them, you're going to remove them from the board. So I've done that, and I left the goods on the table. Now, anything with this little emblem on there, you're going to, like I have here already, you're going to put them face down and then flip them all over like so, and keep those there. Anything that shows a little Viking ship on it, you're going to put one of these little port city cubes, which is 3 food, place them over to each one of those. And then you're going to lay out all of your little government tiles, shuffle them, put them where it says government here. You're going to take each one of these stacks of cards, divide them up. Now, when it comes to population and taxes and tariffs, the game will tell you how many cards you'll deal out. You will not use the entire deck unless you're playing with 6 players. But depending on the number of players, you'll take that many cards. Divide this and the population deck into 2 halves, however many cards that, again, the book tells you how many cards you need. Shuffle them and put this Empire scoring deck in each one of the bottom half of those piles. So, for instance, if I was only to do 10, let's say, or now I'm going to do it like this. So it's 10. I divide these up into 2 stacks, and I put my Empire scoring in this one, and then shuffle this one, shuffle this stack here, and then place the bottom stack at the bottom and the top stack on top of it, like that. And, of course, then you will be turning over those cards, 2 for the tax and tariff area and 2 for the population area. And then for build area, you'll just place them out as you see as the imprint on the board tells you there. You're also dividing the build stack into 2 stacks and shuffling this one in the bottom stack. You're shuffling technology into 3 stacks, and in the middle stack, you're going to put its scoring card on there too for technologies, so on and so forth, and then lay out the technologies over there. Other things you're going to be doing on your player board, you're going to have all of your wonders over one area. This board shows a little score track here that you'll use to keep score. Right now, the base game only came with these figures, I guess, is how you're supposed to keep score of everything. But then you have the wonder tiles you'll stack here. Your golden age tiles you'll stack here. And then here, if you want to, you can stack 9. And you can lay out the golden age in these little civilization achievement cards. There's 9 of these, and then you just shuffle these and select 9 of these too and place them on the board, or you can just select 9 and put them in a stack there for people to look through, and it gives them certain objectives to achieve in the game in order to get victory points. Both of these do, and of course wonders will explain what they do. Victory points or special involvements as well. Every player is going to start, and I'm going to just move it down here for just a minute here, but every player is going to start with this player board. They're going to get 5 starting technologies. You see starting technologies by the S there. They're going to start with 5 population. These big figures are 5. These are 1. So everyone starts with 5 population. They're going to select one of these little leaders. And on top of 5 population, they're going to get any of the starting money, food, whatever it is that they have in the game. They'll also start with this little icon here, which comes into play when we talk about technologies. From there, they're also going to have on their little player board, all these are going to be set to 0 unless they have starting technology that tells them to start with so much stone, food, ideas, or whatnot. They're going to have these extra cubes to count. Once it gets to 10 and above, they'll just place a 10 there, then 20, then 30 if they get that far. This just kind of counts your goods. This is your trade goods here. You'll put trade goods as you find them on the board and place them in your area here. Now, if you ever have another trade good that's exactly the same as another one, you'll just stack it on there. You won't put it in there. You'll just stack the ones that look the same on there and then put the different ones up. But that's how that works. Each person is going to start with a city that they're going to place anywhere on this board here. And they can't place it on a port, but they can place it anywhere they want and grab that reward, whether it's some, ideas or one of the trade goods or some stone, whatever it is. They can place it over one of those things and grab that resource and start with it. Now, depending on what leader you selected, you may be able to put extra cities or towns or anything down, but everyone starts with at least 1 city. Other things you have, this is what a port city looks like. When you grab a port city, and the cards will say port city, these are farms. Farms can be used for anything when you have cards that say farms or things that say market. You can put these markets out as well. And then, of course, everyone has little army units, siege engines, which you can get the technology for, and then cavalry and infantry, which basically just mean the same thing for the most part, unless you get technology that makes them different. Anyway, so you're going to start with all that. You have your resources over here to the board here. I just put them over in the little pile. They're in 1s and 5s each. Of course, you may start with, like, let's say if I had him, I would start with a 5 food production, 10 food, 10 money, and 1 farm town. So I'd add an additional farm town on there and whatnot. But you grab it, and of course, money comes in coin there. Grab all your starting resources and go for it. First player gets this big old block of wood that you could kill someone with. And then you are finally ready to go. Now, playing this game, you get just one action to do. And it's any of the following. So it's very easy to follow. First thing, and they have a player aid that tells you all this, but the first thing you can do is you can do a production. What production is wherever you are on these tracks, plus the person in your population. So for right now, if I want to do a production of anything like ideas, food, or stone and ideas and food, I would only get 5 because it's 5 plus 0. But if I had my stone up to here at 7 plus, and let's say I had 6 population, well, that would be 13 stone that I could produce there. And that is just one action. It's one action to produce any one of those 3 resources. You may not produce any taxes or tariffs yet. Those are for the cards later on the board to use. That's one of your actions you can do, is produce goods. Now, what can you do with those goods? Well, that's what this big board is for here. First off, let me go with technology. You can get some technology. All you need to do is match the icons that are here. Now, if you remembered, if I picked the farmer, he got me this here. Okay, so I had one of these. If I had 2 of them, I could get the plowshare. But remember, at the beginning of your game, you're starting with these starting technologies. Some of them have no requirements. So you can play at the beginning of your turn, like let's say these are my 5. Well, none of them have any starting requirements. I could play them all. I'd get the resources or the production increases on my track. Oh, this one gives me a 2+ and idea production if I had it, and play these. Plus, it would give me all these emblems that I can now use to purchase some of these cards. Remember, you're looking at the side for the qualifications, not the bottom there. But then you buy one of those technology cards, and however much it costs 5 ideas. This is a 5 idea, and these are what 1s look like. So you pay 5 of these or 1 of these, and then you can purchase one of these. It even says that printed on the board. And once you buy one, then you'll replenish it with another technology. That's another action you could do. Another action, you could do a population thing. And these population cards, you'll have 2 out. And it'll basically tell you, hey, if you pay 20 food, you'll gain 3 more population. So I would put 3 more population right here on my player board. At the top there is where you kind of put your population storage there. And I can add that up. Now, these cards run out really quick because there's not that many in the game. And after that, it prints it on the board. It says, hey, pay 15 food to gather 2 population. So that's what that is. At the end, once these run out, you can never use that on the board until these cards run out. But these will run out first because very popular to get population. You need population for several different things there. So that's population. Another thing you do, you can build. Yay, building is something you can do. And depending on what you build, if you build a port city, well, then you'll get one of your port city cards and you'll play it over any port. And then you'll grab the +3 in food production that you won for placing a port city. Or maybe you want to get a manufacturer town. And then if that's the case, you'll get one of your manufacturing towns and you'll place it on the board. Or it says maybe a farm town that does something. And it explains what it does on each of the bottom of these cards here. But then you'll place your farm token out. And you don't even have to, if you don't want to place a particular town or manufacturing town or garrison city or whatnot on your player board, it says right here, build a town, which is any one of these 2 for free. You can do it for free as one action. But remember, they always must be next to your city or next to one of your cities. Your city can go anywhere. If I bought this garrison city, this garrison city comes with all this. Great. I could place another city anywhere on the board. It doesn't have to be next to anything else. However, what if I just want to build a city? I don't want any of these special cities. I just want to build a city. If you just want to build a city, it just tells you how much each one of these costs. Cities cost 4 stone and 2 population. So I would remove 2 of my population from here, probably get changed for 3. And then, of course, remove 4 stone if I had the stone built up, if I produced some stone from earlier. And then to build any town on its own would be for free if I wanted to just do that. Also, these can come in handy for in-game scoring points. I'll talk about that later. But that's one of the things you can build. You can also build a project. And right here says, hey, if one of these cards say project, which this one does, this is a project here, giving you VP at the end of the game for every symbol you have. Well, that costs 5 stone and 5 ideas to build a project. And then you'll just keep this card and save it for the end of the game. So everything is very self-explanatory how it works. And it's so easy to understand. But when you place these manufacturer or farms, you place them next to a city, and you can grab the rewards from whatever you place it next to. So I place it next to this, and maybe place it next to this. Even though it's not the same land, it's next to another one. So yay, I get it. And I can keep these on my player board later on. But that's kind of how builds go there. Again, self-explanatory. You can also build wonders. And wonders, it says here on the track, the first wonder for anyone who builds their first wonder costs 20 stone and 5 food. After that, it's 5 more of each resource. So the second one would be 25 stone and 10 food. And then the third one would be 30 stone and 15 food, and so on and so forth. And that's for each individual player. So if it was even though someone may have had 3 wonders already, my first wonder I buy is only going to cost me 20 stone and 5 food, even though his 4th wonder would cost 35 stone and 20 food. And then you get to pick which one of these wonders you want, as long as it's not taken by another player. Some of these have in-game points. Some of these have scoring points. Some of these have positive unrest, which I'll talk about later. And then some of them just come straight up victory points. So you get to pick the one you want and bring that wonder out. And of course, that wonder needs to be placed next to your city, and you'll keep the card next to you. Now, the other action you can take is a government action. And if so, you just pay for whatever the cost is on the top card here. So the cost is 15 ideas. I can take this. This is a one-time. Usually these are scoring objectives or little special abilities you can have. They're one time. You flip it over to show that it's been used. After that, if you want to buy another one, you can, but you better have used this one already, because you can only have one government at a time, and the next one has to go at the bottom of the deck. All right, so that's the government actions. They do various things on the board. You can do tax and tariffs, which is very simple. And when you do tax and tariffs, you're going to get some negative unrest. At the end of the game, this negative unrest is worth negative points, but as you saw, sometimes when it's in gold, not red, then that's positive unrest, and you're going to make sure you have enough positive to outweigh the small negative points you'll be getting when you do this. But when you do tax and tariffs, it tells you how, and each card is different, how to uniquely calculate how much money you'll be getting in the game. Now, money is very important because money is used to buy several different things. Money, every 2 money counts for 1 wild resource, except for population. You can't pay for population with money, but stone, food, and ideas can all be paid for with money. Also, you'll need money to buy military units as well. I should mention that when you were building these port cities or cities, you're adding money to this little kiddie pool. So it says it right here, and this is something we always forget, but every time you add a city, anyone adds a city, you take 5 coin from the general supply and put it here. Anytime you add a port city, you gain 15. So after a while, money could be piling up in this holding area, and what it's waiting for is someone to take a tax and tariff action. Because when they do, they take all the coin that's here and take it with them on top of their taxes and tariff money that they can get. So it just gives people extra incentive to do the tax and tariff action. The other one is military. This is another way you spend money. You can buy up to 2 units. It can be military or cavalry. Later on, you may be able to buy some siege units, but you can grab these. They're basically mean the same for each one, unless you have technology cards that tell you different. But they're $5 to recruit, so you pay $5 each, and they just kind of go in the region of whatever city. They're not really taking up an area. So if the area is full and you just want to put them over to the side, just have them match next to the place they're at. I should also mention, in a 2 to 3 player game, you're not playing with these 2 islands either. The board kind of shrinks a little bit to help out for smaller players. But anyway, you can put them here. And for 1 coin per unit, you can move them to the next adjacent region. So for 2 coin, I could move them here. Maybe on the next turn, I took another military action. Maybe I added someone else here, but I wanted to move these 2 more spaces. So I paid 4 coin, I guess. That's, 2 and 4 to move them over here. And this is just for area control, which is what's going to happen later on when you're scoring the game. But that's the military action. So those are the actions you're doing. You're doing your own little, on your player board production actions. You're buying technology. You're buying population. You're building cities. You're taking a government action, a military action, or doing tax and tariffs. Everyone's playing around just doing one of those options there. until one of these Empire scoring cards pop up. And when someone reveals an Empire scoring card, the game comes to a halt and we start scoring each one of these regions. Now, how you're going to score it, starting wherever you want, and then going around the board, you're going to see who has the most influence. Anyone who has cities, that's 2 influence. If you have a wonder in that region, that's another 2 influence. Any farms or markets you have in that region would be another influence. And of course, any army or military you have would be extra influence as well. Now, as you see, for purple, even though this kind of snaked out here, this is not purple. This cannot be counted for the purple region. It would be counted for green region. And if I had these units right next to this, that did count for the green region. So I'd want it all here to have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 influence in there. Now, maybe there's another player who has some other stuff in there. Let's say that the other player just has a city in there. They only had 1 influence. Well, I blew them away here. But whoever gets second place would get 2 victory points, which would be purple. If it's a tie, both players would get 2 victory points. Same thing for first place. If it's a tie for first place, each player would get 3 victory points, plus you're going to get a victory point for every city and wonder that's in there, including someone else's. So let's say I would win this. I got 3 victory points plus 4, 5, and 6. I would also get another victory point for purple city. And if purple had anything else in there, like maybe they had a wonder, then I would also get those victory points too if I won. And you're scoring each region like that. Now, the game's going to keep going until one of 2 options happen. If 3 of these Empire scoring cards are revealed, because you see there's 4 of them out, if 3 of them get revealed, that triggers the end of the game. Or if 2 of these stacks, meaning the achievements, the Golden Age tiles, or the wonders, if 2 of those are depleted, that will also signal the end of the game. You'll finish off that round so that everyone gets another turn. And then starting with the first player, you'll do 1 final round. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to add up and give everyone 2 victory points for every city, that's including a port city, that they have on the board, a victory point for every town that they have on the board, and then they're going to score any cards. Sometimes they have tech cards, building cards, certain objective cards that will let you score in-game points. You'll add up all your in-game points on this score track here, and of course, whoever has the most points wins. And that is the base game. Now, if you're playing with wars and disasters, you are going to get a whole lot more of everything. You're going to get more civilization ways to score, civilization achievements. You're going to get some more wonders. There's an extra government tile. There's tons of technology cards that you'll be using. There's a new military action that you'll place and cover that area there. And then when you buy military units, you can also optionally buy one of these war military actions as well. And they're one-time use, meaning they're one and done. Once someone pays for them and uses it, that's it. You can only buy one of these per military action that you get. The game also comes with an additional leader, the admiral here that you can choose, and it has all of these little, they're called national military powers. And these you will pick according to your color. This doesn't matter what color you are, but if I was playing as yellow, then I would play as Egyptians here. And this would be the special ability that you'd have. And they're all special and very self-explanatory in the game. But you'd also pick your military action, military power based on what color you are. Of course, it doesn't matter what color you are when it comes to grabbing leaders. The game also comes with additional, here's some models for those minis there. It comes with additional coins that you can get. I think there's a $100 coin in there, which is really nice. It's also going to come with score trackers, because the base game didn't come with score trackers. So now, instead of putting a man there, you can put these score trackers in there and score it that way. You're also going to have these disasters in. Well, here's some more bills here, but you're also going to have these disaster cards. And how this works, you'll shuffle this, deal out 8, and lay them out for everyone to see. And then wherever you're shuffling in those empire scoring, you're also going to shuffle in 2 disaster triggers for each one of these decks. Okay, each one of these decks, you're going to shuffle in 2 of them. Now, for technology, the game comes with a lot more technology. So what it says now is when you shuffle the technology, divide it into 4 stacks, get rid of 1, and then use those 3 stacks, meaning the middle stack will have 2 disasters and an empire scoring thing in there. So that's kind of how that works there. It also is going to come with some, and how the disasters work, let me just tell you this. Once you flip over your disaster card, once it replaces one of the cards out there, then you got someone, whoever the first one is, it'll say, hey, whoever has the most of this or the least of this will suffer some penalty. And so you get to choose kind of when you want to activate it, because you can see the disaster at the top of the deck. And if you take one more technology, that disaster will strike. So that's kind of neat. Also comes with some Navy ships now for every player here. And what you're doing with the Navy ships now, your military action says you can buy two of these land, or one naval and one land is what you can do. So you may recruit 2 units per turn, but you can't recruit 2 naval at the same time. Naval costs $10 per unit and 3 to move around the board, but when they move, they can move anywhere around the board. Now, one thing is, you can only spawn them if you have a port city. So if I had a port city, they'd had to be spawned near that port city, and of course they'll go in the water there. But once you spawn one, you immediately get to take one of the goods in that region, wherever it is, wherever you want. If you spawn 2 there, you would get to take 2 goods, and so on and so forth. But every time you spawn one, you can take a good in that region. But again, you have to have this here, port city. Now, to move it would cost 3 coin. These are a little bit more expensive, but these count for 2 additional influence. So they can be 2 additional influence in the game, and really big when you're trying to get this area control. One thing in the game that they wanted to clarify is sometimes the game says military units. It impacts something with military units. When it says military units, they're talking about cavalry, sieges, the cavalry and the infantry, not the naval. It'll say naval when it's impacting the naval ships. So military just is everything. This is specifically described in the cards as naval. But ships are now a really big thing you can get. Some of the new cities you can get are these garrison cities here. These, when you build them, and the new expansion cards will tell you, they come with a military unit. So I can put a cavalry or an infantry whenever I place this out. So basically just puts more military out there on the board for you and try to kickstarts the game. The other new building is the amphitheater, and how this works. Of course, amphitheater and garrisons need to be put down next to your other city, or other ones on the track here next to them. But once this is, let's say I put it here, it scores 2 victory points. It can grab this, but it can score 2 victory points for every city and wonder it's next to. So actually the better place would be to place it right there, because as you see, I'm next to a wonder and 2 cities. That'd be 2, 4, 6 points just for placing it there. Of course, it has to be attached next to one of my sprawling metropolitan areas here. But anyway, that's what amphitheaters are. They offer immediate scoring. There's also special places that can give you 2 of any icons. So they have a bunch of these tokens with different icons on them that you can gather out if you get, I believe it's the library. And the game also, you can purchase 3 promo packs. 2 are like Gen Con packs. One was, I think, a Man versus Meeple pack. And it's just extra technology you can add in the game. And they are depicted, the promos, as you see, depicted by the little stars there. And that's the game. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Whoa, this is huge. I love Glenn Drover. One of my favorite games is Empire's Age of Discoveries. And growing up, I didn't realize this until this past year, I think. But he did Conquest of the Empire, which I played as a kid all the time and enjoyed. I still have a newer copy of the game somewhere on my bookshelf here, or game shelf. I love Glenn Drover. I don't like all of Glenn Drover's games, but when I saw his name, I'm always interested to check it out. Now, this is one that I looked at a long time ago. I passed over because it's the retail edition. This Colossus edition is the reason you should get the game. It's just epic. There's so many great pieces on it. It's such a fun game. If you get the base game, it's some nice thick cardboard pieces. And that's what it is, just all cardboard, which may be good. And it'll cost you 1/3 of what this cost. I got this in a trade with the expansion. You're looking at maybe $350, $300, $350. That's a lot to pay for a game. But I will be honest, this is just a great game. When Glenn Drover's on, he's on, man. He just shines. And this is one of them that shines here. When my nephews and I first broke this out, we weren't really sure. I didn't even play War and Disasters with them because I was like, man, this is like a lot going on here. And after just a few rounds, we found out, whoa, this is really easy. And turns go super fast. There is no AP. There is no AP. You want to do a production. Someone did a production. While my nephew was going to go grab all the stone he was making, someone else says, I'm buying a city. And so he bought the city. And then I bought some technology. And then it was my nephew's turn again. He had just finished grabbing all the stone he needed. He went, oh, it's me again. I said, you again. And we just kept going round, bam, bam, bam. Very rarely are you just sitting there waiting. Now, you can grab any of those Golden Age or Civilization achievements at any time. It says score them at the end of the game. We go ahead and score them during the game. I don't see the point of waiting. Sometimes because of how you can score in-game points and whatnot, you have to wait on some of these wonders. the wonders I see, but the other stuff, I think you should just go ahead and score those victory points. It doesn't matter. But this game is incredible. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely recommend it, but goodness gracious. If you think you can just be happy with thick cardboard, get the base edition. There's a base edition for Wars and Disasters. That's way cheaper than getting the Colossus edition. This thing is thick and huge, and I love it. I love the Colossus edition. This is a great game. This is definitely going to pop up on my top 100 one day, I think. I think this is just wonderful. But anyway, gamers, that's it for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!